Compared to the normal deadlift, the bar will start in front of us, right? So the bar starts in front of us, not necessarily a bad thing, but the tendency to want to be then pulled forward and use more of your lower back is obviously going to be a lot higher. So I find for myself and probably Liv, a majority of our clients trap bar deadlift, and we use it for most people, especially those who are just training once or twice a week. So you guys aren't allowed to trap bar deadlift. We need it for all our clients, so please don't. I'm joking, but this is but I'm not. We need another deadlift platform and another trap bar, but we'll talk to Andy about that. So with the starting position of your deadlift, what I want everyone to do is close your eyes. You're going to march on the spot, and then we get you to stop. Close your eyes, march on the spot nice and high, and then you're just going to stop. Look down at your feet. Notice how people's feet are different. Some are wider, some are narrower. That's generally going to be your strongest position to deadlift from. So of course you might need to just maneuver them a little bit if they're a bit wonky, but that you will find is generally your body's strongest position. So when you're setting up trap bar, normal deadlift, etc., RDLs, etc., any variations, generally speaking, that's going to be the way to go for your individual structure as you go through there. So Liv set up in her position. What she wants to do now is we're going to come down to grab the bar. As we come down to grab the bar, what most people do is they will just drop their chest and jump in their lower back, or they will squat the weight down. So there is a difference between obviously the squat and the deadlift. Deadlift will obviously sit a little bit higher. So we're going to almost imagine, everyone's going to be different with this, but between your shoulder and your hip and your knee, there's almost going to be like a 45-degree angle between both. So generally speaking, if you're a bit more hip dominant like Liv is, you're probably going to set up a little bit higher. If you're a bit more quad dominant, you're probably going to want to turn it into a bit more of a squat as well. So everyone's going to be different. You're going to play around with your position. The two things we really want to focus on here is when we're grabbing the bar, we want to make sure that the shoulders are basically directly under the hands when we've gripped the bar there. If the shoulders are in front, that's going to lean us forward, and straight away, all that tension is going to probably come through the lower back. If we're too far back, same sort of thing's going to happen because we're going to be extending up and we're going to be trying to stripper squat the whole thing up as we go through. on the pole like that, you know? So what Liv's going to do, she's going to start with her feet. Big toe, small toe, and heel. Those are her 3 points of pressure. If you think about starting from the feet, if there's a leak in the chain of tension, you're going to start from the ground up. So we always like to start from the ground. If the feet are tight, that's going to transition all the way up through the rest of the body. So big toe, small toe, heel. She's going to imagine there's a piece of paper in the middle of the floor and she's trying to rip that apart. So that's going to create tension. Already you can see her knees are out, and that's already activated her glutes. So her glutes are nice and tight. From there, she's going to take a big abdominal brace. She's going to tighten up. With her lats now, this is going to be the one that everyone misses, is everyone wants to pull the thing up and lift up here. We want to imagine the arms stay as long as possible, and you're going to hear a little click as Liv goes to lift up. You hear that little click that people use? We want to try and take that out. So if you hear the click and you're coming up, chances are you've lost tension through your lats. Whereas if we take that click out first and then deadlift, we're going to notice that difference of almost, I like to use the cue, no noise. So it will take some time to get used to. One thing you can do to help that is actually with the crown of your head, you're going to imagine driving that up to the roof just before you lift. Generally speaking, that is going to pull the neck, pull the shoulders down, and that's going to put you in the perfect position to be able to go into a deadlift. But you'll notice even in here, trap bar, obviously the knees can come a little bit further forward because they're not going to be whacking the bar as well, but the position's pretty much going to be the same. You might have a tiny bit more hips back when you go into the conventional deadlift, but this is why I like the trap bar. For most people, they can lift heavier, and again, all the tension is at the side of their hands instead of in front of them, so it's just going to take more tension off the lower back, and you can still load it however you want. Again, when you get into variations like RDLing and things like that, you can still use the trap bar. If the bar's in front of you and you feel like that just keeps pulling you into that position, when the hands are to your side, you can push those hips back. And again, same thing, you can use dumbbells, you can use different variations. Again, we've got regressions in the PDF for you guys as well to go in. But the main thing, I guess, to learn is the hip hinge as well.
So, I'm puffed from doing it.